We hear it all the time, right? Solar and wind are the future. And, they are. But there's this huge, fundamental problem we just don't talk about enough. So today, we're going to break down the incredible challenge of keeping our world running when the sun goes down, and how two really different technologies might just hold the key to a truly green 24/7 power grid.
I mean, this is the billion-dollar question, isn't it? Our entire modern world, everything we do, runs on a constant, stable flow of electricity. It's totally non-negotiable. So, when our absolute cleanest sources of power are also the most unpredictable, what do? What's the plan?
And that mismatch leads us to what you could call the green energy paradox. So look at these two curves here. The yellow one, that's your solar power, peaking right in the middle of the day when the sun is high. But that orange one, that's us. That's our energy demand, which usually spikes in the evening when we all get home and turn on the lights. The problem is that big gap between them. We have tons of clean, free power when we need it least, and a huge shortage when we need it most.
And get this problem is only going to get bigger, a lot bigger. To meet our future needs, experts are predicting we'll have to literally double the size of our entire electricity grid. Just try to picture that. Twice the infrastructure, twice the complexity. But we're still stuck with that same fundamental problem of power that just comes and goes. This isn't just a grid problem anymore. It is a massive storage problem.
Okay, so what's the first major solution on the table? Well, it's a concept that honestly sounds like something straight out of science fiction. Literally storing sunshine and wind in a bottle. We're talking about hydrogen.
So the whole process kicks off with something called water electrolysis. Now I know, it sounds super complex, but it's really not. When you've got a surplus of renewable energy, like on a super sunny or windy day, you use that extra electricity to split water, H2O, into its basic parts. The oxygen gets released, and you capture and store the hydrogen. Then, whenever you need that power back, you just run the hydrogen through a fuel cell, which basically reverses the process. It combines it with oxygen to make electricity, and the only thing that comes out is water. It's a completely clean, closed loop. Pretty cool, huh?
So why are people so excited about hydrogen? Well, its biggest, most amazing advantage is its ability to store energy for an incredibly long time. And I'm not talking about just a few hours. We're talking days, weeks, even entire seasons. This is what lets us solve that big seasonal mismatch problem. It's also super scalable. You can just add more storage whenever you need it. And we can store it in absolutely massive quantities, in everything from giant tanks to vast underground salt caverns, just like you see here.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. Experts in the field, like Kevin Harrison from the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, point to hydrogen's unique ability to time-shift energy over these really long periods. This isn't just about getting us through the night. This is about getting us through the entire winter. And that, right there, is a total game changer that other technologies really struggle with.
All right, now for our second major solution. If you think of hydrogen as the grid's long-term savings account, then this next technology is its power bank, a gigantic, lightning-fast source of on-demand energy. We're talking about battery energy storage systems, or BESS for short. And yeah, this diagram might look a little complicated, but the idea is actually really simple. You have these huge arrays of batteries that basically act like a buffer for the grid. When there's too much power, they charge up, and when there's a deficit, a smart control system tells them to push that power back into the grid, almost instantly. They are, for all intents and purposes, the grid's shock absorbers. And these systems are unbelievably versatile. I mean, they do way more than just store and dispatch energy, which is that first step you see here. They also perform these critical split-second functions. As you see in the next steps, they regulate the grid's frequency, kind of like a pacemaker, to prevent blackouts. They support voltage to make sure power quality is high. And finally, they provide instant backup power during an outage. They're basically the Swiss Army knife of the modern grid.
So, we've got two pretty powerful contenders here. Hydrogen for the long haul and batteries for that super fast response. The obvious question then is, which one wins? Let's put them head-to-head and find out. Okay, for batteries, the single biggest story is all about the cost. In this chart right here, it says it all. In just 6 years, between 2013 and 2019, the price of lithium-ion battery packs just plummeted by 75%. That's not just a small improvement. That is a full-blown revolution. This price crash is the entire reason we're even having this conversation. It's single-handedly made grid-scale battery storage a real, viable thing.
This comparison brilliantly illustrates the different jobs these technologies are built for.
Hydrogen is the marathon runner, right? It's perfect for storing gigantic amounts of energy for weeks or even months at a time. Batteries, on the other hand, are the sprinters. They're built for incredibly fast response and daily cycles, and they're super efficient. Each one has a very clear advantage depending on what job you need done.
And the world of batteries itself is pretty diverse. It's not just about the lithium-ion batteries that are in our phones. These charts compare lithium-ion to another type, called a redox flow battery. Now, you don't have to get all the details here, but the key thing to see is that the performance curves have different shapes. Lithium-ion on the left is the king of energy and power density. It's compact and powerful. But redox flow on the right might have a much longer lifespan, which could make it better for certain grid jobs. The whole point is, there's no single best battery. It's all about picking the right tool for the right job.
But batteries do have a vulnerability. They degrade over time. Just think about your phone. If you drain that battery all the way down to zero every single day, it's just not going to last as long. And this curve shows exactly that. The deeper you discharge a battery, the fewer charge cycles it can handle over its lifetime. This is a really key factor in how these massive systems are managed to make them last.
So, who wins the showdown? Well, the answer might actually surprise you, because it turns out this was never really a fight to begin with. It's about building a smarter, more resilient grid by using both of them.
The key insight, the big takeaway, is this. It's not a competition, it's a partnership. Batteries and hydrogen aren't rivals at all. They're two complementary pieces of the exact same puzzle, and each one solves a different part of the problem.
So in this hybrid future, batteries handle that fast-paced, moment-to-moment balancing act, keeping the grid stable every single second of the day. And meanwhile, hydrogen does the heavy lifting. It takes that enormous surplus of solar power we generate in the summer and shifts it to the dark, cold days of winter. Together, they cover all the bases.
The technology to power a 100% renewable future, it exists. It's here. We can power our world through the night, and we can power it through the seasons. So the question really isn't if we can do it anymore, but how quickly we can build it. The challenge isn't just technical, it's a question of will, of investment, and of vision. The opportunity is a truly sustainable world, and that choice is ours.